Wahamanati, Hamanati, Hamanati, Siabonga, Wahamanatu, Chesu, Wahamanati, 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 Siabonga, Wahamanatu, Chesu, Wahamanati, 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 Siabonga.
Hi, that's me, Whitney. I've been working for the last 5 years at Scottsdale Bible Church on the film team, and if you would have told me 2 months ago that I would be in the middle of Tanzania, Africa, next to a mud hut filming a Maasai family, I wouldn't have believed you. Let me back up for a second. That's me, Whitney Meade. Now, Whitney Sandoval, thanks to my best friend. According to my grandma, on my 5th birthday, everyone sang to me as I blew out my candles. As soon as I was done, I looked up, saw everyone staring at me, and burst into tears. I just couldn't handle all of the attention. That's a pretty good example of who I am. Shy, scared of everything, and extremely introverted.
Sing me a song. Go stand in the spotlight and sing a song. Come on. Nobody's watching.
I wasn't the best in school, but thrived in music and art. I was close to my brothers and my parents, the few people I really trusted. I was anxious and always a little hesitant to put myself out there. And honestly, not much has changed. Now I'm 31 and I'm still just as scared to put myself out there. I'm just as introverted and I'm even more anxious. So when I was told about this trip to Tanzania, I was hesitant, to say the least. I found out I was going with my director Paul, my coworker Amy, who's a photographer, and Frank and Carol. They're a married couple, and Frank is the Tanzania project director for Scottsdale Bible Church. I knew about the Tanzania project, and I've even been sponsoring a boy for the past 3 years, but I never thought they would ask me to go. Mainly because my role at SBC has always been editor, not cinematographer. So I was shocked. A trip like this was definitely out of my comfort zone, and to be honest, I really didn't want to go. But I am no longer little Whitney. I'm adult Whitney now. And sometimes I have to do things that push me out of my comfort zone. But I just really wanted to get this trip over with. So I packed my bags and I headed to the airport.
We're now in, where are we? Detroit.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Amsterdam. The local time is 5:49. Welcome to Kilimanjaro. We hope to see you again soon.
Africa.
I'm in Africa. That's so weird. Read it? Hallelujah.
After a long 26 hours of travel, we finally arrived at one of two schools we were visiting, Mairowa Integrity School. It's considered an honor for anyone to be visiting the campus, so each person is required to sign in to keep record of their visit. This is Godsave. He's the CEO of Eredo East Africa Foundation that runs the Tanzania project with SBC. After we signed in, we decided to check out the school grounds. As we were walking, the sound of synchronized voices coming from one of the classrooms caught our attention.
Good afternoon, how are you?
We are fine, thank you, sisters. And how are you?
We are all fine. Please sit down. This is the team from Scottsdale Bible Church led by Babu Frank. You know Babu Frank, eh?
Yes.
Huyu ni Caro, ni mke wa Babu Frank. Emil, alafu na Wit.
This is the part where I tell you that everyone in Tanzania had a very hard time pronouncing my name.
Whitney.
Whitney.
Whitney, okay? Yes. They will be taking all the videos and talking to you guys, so relax, enjoy, cooperate, okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
Since 2004, Scottsdale Bible Church has been working on the Tanzania project. It started with the establishment of relationships with two communities, Mairowa and Kondoa. Kondoa is a city of 20,000 predominantly Muslim people in central Tanzania. Mairowa is a village of predominantly Maasai people in northern Tanzania. Now, if you're wondering what Maasai means, don't worry, we'll get to that later. This resulted in the creation of two primary schools, Kondoa Integrity School in 2006 and Mairowa Integrity School in 2008, both providing Christian education. What was once just empty fields have now been transformed into beautiful school campuses where children can safely worship, learn, and play. But this didn't just happen overnight, obviously. Since 2004, SBC gradually built these schools from the ground up, adding one grade at a time over several years. After the first day on campus, we went back to our hotel. And by hotel, I mean a very small room where the toilet is in the same space as the shower.
Hi. We have a little bit of a break right now. No electricity, so my flashlight on.
But tomorrow the plan is we're going to film a kid. His name is Lamali. We actually saw him in the class today. We're going to film him at his home, or his boma, as they call it. And then we're going to film him walking to school and just see what his day is like. So I'm gonna go to bed because I'm exhausted. Bye.
In Mairowa, there's a tribe here, the Maasai tribe, and it's just fascinating to me how vastly different we live back in the States. Cows are number one to them. Then goats, then sheep, then wives, then children.
What I really noticed when filming is that all children are kind of the same, no matter what culture they're from. They're all just so innocent and so sweet.
Now there's a tension.
The family graciously invited us into their home. In the Maasai culture, the men have multiple wives. The wives live together and help each other. This is Lamali's mom preparing drinks for the men.
That is the skin, a cow skin. It's like a mattress. So this is a 6x6 bed.
Now, I didn't actually go into the home, but when I was looking at this footage, I was shocked that all those people sleep on that tiny bed.
A boy is a king in a Maasai Boma. They don't do home chores, which is different from a girl. She has to clean, she has to wash dishes, she has to go fetch water, she has to prepare a meal for the family. The Maasai men does not value women. They just want the girls to grow and give them away to a man and get cows.
Elizabeth is the one who introduced us to the family and helped explain the Maasai culture to us. She happens to be God Save's niece, but she's also a very highly respected teacher at Mairowa Integrity School. Lamali, his dad, and his siblings sit down and enjoy a hot, freshly squeezed cup of goat milk. After finishing up their drinks, we surprised the family with 3 huge bags of rice. And in return, they gifted us a sheep.
Come here, big guy.
Don't worry, we gave the sheep to the school. After the gift exchange, Lamali was getting ready for school, and Frank, well, he decided to hop on the back of a motorcycle and meet us there. I must say, Frank is one of the most adventurous people I have ever met. He's not afraid to totally embrace the culture around him. There he goes. When Scottsdale Bible Church considers a new missions project, their primary goals are to establish local partnerships, collaborate with pastors already active in their communities needing support, and ensure the project is focused on spiritual transformation. SBC chose Tanzania after meeting GodSave and his team. GodSave introduced Frank to 2 villages, Mairowa and Kondoa. During their first trip to Mairowa, GodSave told Frank that the Maasai people are the only Tanzanian tribe that have fully maintained their culture, traditions, and customs. The Maasai are a proud people and resistant to change. Frank had doubts about whether investing the church's resources in Mairowa was the best decision.
I didn't think there was a way to work with the people in general to have a spiritual transformation. And so I said, I'm not sure this is the right place. But I also remember the car being very quiet after that. And then after some minutes, you spoke up.
I thought about my daughters. So I said, if I had not taken my daughters to school, probably they would have been the same as these girls in the village. So I came with an idea that, okay, we cannot change the elderly people, but we can start with the children by who will become the agents of change for this community. Even if it is after 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. But I know one day this old generation will disappear. But the kids whom we have trained, we have helped them become Christian by knowing the word of God, will be the agent of change for this community.
Yeah, and that was the turning point.
Yeah.
God Save and Frank explained to us that in 2005, SBC actually dug a well in Mairowa, providing a consistent supply of clean water to the village, a luxury they didn't have before. And they actually took a few years to start school because the children were so malnourished that the first few years were spent feeding the kids to get them healthy. The food they receive at school is often the only food that they get for the whole week. And I thought for such small kiddos, they wouldn't eat such huge portions. But boy, was I wrong. Now, the students not only get food from the school, but they've learned how to grow food at the garden on campus. It just made me realize how fortunate we are. We have so many options back in the States. Order takeout. Drive through one of the endless fast food restaurants near you. Go to a sit-down restaurant. Go to the grocery store where there's every possible ingredient to cook at home. Here, there's none of that. What's grown in your front yard is what you eat. The milk comes from the cows that you raise. The resources they have here are just really limited. It was really eye-opening. As we were filming, I felt a little tug on my hair, and I looked down and saw this little one. She was so curious about the camera, she followed me around the whole time. I made my first little friend. Being in Tanzania, we certainly stood out, especially with our gear. All the kids were so curious, but they really took an interest in Paul. They just thought he was the funniest guy ever.
Tres, go. Uno, dos, tres, go. Uno, dos, tres, go. Uno, dos, tres, go!
Anytime he talked, they would just laugh at him. Pure happiness, pure silliness, which is also Paul.
Bye! Bye! Bye-bye-bye-bye!
We started filming Lamali's journey to school.
He walks from his home to school, which is 5 kilometers, I think.
Tanzanians walk everywhere, and 5 kilometers, which is just over 3 miles, is considered a short walk to them. But for us, well, we struggled to keep up.
How you guys do this every day?
I was finally getting comfortable being on this trip, but when we were filming Lamali walking through the town of Mairowa, I looked up and suddenly Paul was gone.
Where did Paul go? I thought we were following him.
I didn't know where he went, I also didn't know where our vehicle was, and I realized that just me and Amy were in the middle of this little town in Tanzania, and we stuck out like sore thumbs. I wasn't afraid of the people around me, but my anxiety kicked in when I thought everyone was looking at me. Suddenly, I was 5 years old again after blowing out my birthday candles. I've never felt so self-conscious and out of place in my entire life. I was panicking.
Oh, there he is. We lost you. We were like, where did you go?
Stopped in an alley and I'm like,
After 3 long miles, we finally arrived back at the school. Elizabeth told us about what the average day of a student is like.
When he reaches to school, they have to clean, and then to the morning assembly, that they sing the national anthem. If there is any announcement, then they go to class, have a devotion for half an hour. They get a time to worship, to hear the word of God, to pray, and then they start their subjects. And then they have a break at 10 where they get their breakfast here at school, then have 2 hours until 1 to have lunch. They start copying their homework or do some classwork that they didn't finish. Then they attend their class gardens, play, then they walk home.
The next morning, we filmed at the girls' dorm on campus. When we arrived, Carol and Mercy, the dorm mother, exchanged hugs. One thing I noticed on this trip is that everyone greets us so warmly. Carol is especially loved, having visited Tanzania so many times over the years and established deep relationships here. In 2018, SBC built a dormitory for adolescent girls who attend Mairowa Integrity School. This dorm now provides a safe and comfortable place for the girls to live. We happened to arrive during their time of devotion and worship.
How many have talents here? For the Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5, it says, trust on the Lord, but do not depend on your own understanding. Amen. It says, call out to me and answer.
When they started singing, I was blown away by how loud their voices were. They speak so softly, I wasn't expecting such strong singing voices. It felt like the walls were vibrating.
You know, for the community like Maasai, the importance of this dormitory is very, very big. It helps the girl to achieve their goal. When they are at home, they don't have time to study, and they are at risk. You know, they are age of P5, 6, and 7. It's the age that the community, they can take them to the FGM, marriage, to get pregnant. So we rescue them from those risks.
So that period of time is the most risky.
Yes.
So after they go through P7, not so much risk.
Yeah.
And they're highly educated.
Yes.
And then they can move on in their education, right?
Yeah. You know, here there is a culture like before the baby birth, an old man go to the mama and book the young yeah, a baby. When he birth and he will be a girl, he will be my wife. But when they entering here, they are very, very safe. And some of them are coming from the poorest family. So when they are here, it is like paradise. Here, I teach them the way of God, about the salvation, foundation of Christianity. The foundation is Jesus for everything.
Frank told us that this young lady dreams of being a minister. So she not only preaches to her dorm mates, but she also gets some practice in by preaching on Sundays at church. And the dorm girls often participate by singing and dancing every Sunday as well. The weekend we were there, the school hosted church services for the community on campus. The Tanzanian services are a little different than SBC's. This one was over 2 hours long, and that's considered short. They dedicate a huge portion of their gathering to energetic praise, worship, and prayer. The music and the dancing was filled with passion, and the presence of God was powerful. It was truly uplifting and so much fun.
This is the day that the Lord has done. Tunatakiwa tufurahie na tushangilie. We have to rejoice. Amen. Kwa hiyo jisikie uko vizuri, jisikie nyumbani mwa Bwana.
That night, in the middle of the night, I woke up to the sound of pouring rain. I thought about Lamali and his family. I was wondering, are they cold? Are they wet? I prayed that they were warm and dry. I've never once had to worry about the rain because I've always had a solid roof over my head. Gratitude washed over me. Thankfulness for everything I have in my life. I reflected on this experience so far, realizing that God had aligned everything in my life for me to be here in this very moment. I've had my doubts in the past about God. Is he real? Even leading up to this trip, I still had my doubts at times. But when I woke up in the morning, it hit me. How am I here in Africa when I didn't even want to be? How did everything work out perfectly in my favor? He wanted me to be here, to experience his presence, his peace. And for the first time in my life, I admitted to God that I fully and wholeheartedly believe in him. It only took me over 30 years and 10,000 miles to finally get it. But I guess that was his plan all along. Even though we were sad to go the next morning, we were off to our next adventure in Kondoa, about 9 hours south. We arrived at Kondoa Integrity School. The campus, beautiful, peaceful. I was just amazed because it truly felt like a sanctuary for these children as soon as you stepped onto the campus. These teachers are so dedicated. Not only did they go through traditional training to become teachers, but they were also trained specifically in Christian education. They invest their heart and soul into these children, and it really shows. The cornerstone of the Tanzania project is the Child Sponsorship Program. An individual or family can sponsor a child, which pays for their education, their uniforms, and their food. You can write letters back and forth to your sponsor child, and every once in a while, you get your child's report card in the mail to see how they're doing in their studies. It was finally time for me to meet my sponsor child, a 9-year-old boy named Sahal.
Hey, here he comes.
Why am I nervous? Hi, I'm Whitney. I'm your sponsor. Nice to meet you. It's really good to meet you. How are you? You were good? I brought you a gift. Yeah, no problem. Oh, thank you. Do you want to open it?
Another notebook for you to write in. Yeah. And then a coloring book. And then a whole bunch of crayons are in here. You open it like this. See. You got fun?
Yes. Can you say Whitney?
That's my name. And your name is Sahal?
Yes.
Yes? Do you like?
Yes.
Okay, good. Did you know you had a sponsor? Cheese. It was so good meeting you.
It was a pretty cool experience seeing the child I've been supporting all of these years. I honestly didn't think it would affect me as much as it did. Now I feel like he's truly a part of my family.
That was cool.
That was cool.
I felt like I was meeting a celebrity or something.
We still had one more stop before our trip ended. Amy needed to meet her sponsor child, Allie. But this time, not at school. At his house, in the city of Kondoa, where he lives with his mom and his aunt.
Hi.
Hi.
Amy, are you Allie's
Yeah.
mom?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to
Hi.
meet you.
Welcome.
Asante.
Hi.
Hello. Nice to meet you. I have some gifts for you. You want this?
For yours.
This is for you.
Ongea basi.
Yeah. Do you want to see what's in here? You want him?
Pokea zawadi.
Thank you.
That's for you.
Thank you.
Coloring book. My mom passed away a little over a year ago, and she always prayed the blessing over my brother and I and I got to pray that over Ali. Such a sweet and special moment to just pray that over him. Lord Jesus, I just thank you so much for blessing me with this opportunity, Lord, to meet Ali and his family, and I'm just so grateful. And Lord, I just pray that you would just continue to bless this family. Oh, thank you. Asante. Seeing him for the first time was just so special.
4, 5, 6.
After seeing and meeting them, it's, nice because I know how to pray for them a lot better. This experience, it's, gonna affect me for a long time.
Asante.
It's so rewarding. It'll change your world.
Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as also forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
As we left this beautiful country, I couldn't help but reflect on what has been accomplished through the Tanzania Project these past 20 years. God Save was right. Through the transformation of thousands of kids' lives, 2 communities have also experienced transformation. The Maasai culture of Mairowa and the Muslim culture of Kondoa have experienced the power of the gospel through these 2 schools. I had no idea the extent. Even though I've edited short videos about the Tanzania Project for the past 5 years, God wanted me to see it in person. I needed to take this step of faith, face my anxiety, and face my fears. In 10 short days, He's changed me. And on that flight home, I decided a couple of things. First, I would sponsor a second child, a girl this time. And second, it was time for me to get baptized. Time for this awkward introvert to go all in publicly with Jesus. And as I waited my turn with my husband looking on, we held a beautiful secret that was hard to contain. I've heard it said, baptism is an outward expression of an internal change. God has changed me, and I can't wait to show Christ's love to my first child who is growing inside of me now. Maybe one day we'll all travel back to Tanzania as a family for the next chapter in this beautiful story.